The Chains of Fate, and it's the second book. I am like 16% of the way through right now. Jason is 3 days sober from the Stardust. He is in Vesseren's apartment, and he told him that he is using, and Vesseren is like, I don't blame you, like I understand, even though Vesseren told everybody that if they were caught with Stardust that they would be expelled immediately, no questions asked. Oh my god. So we just figured out who LaCour is and what he is. So I'm going to kind of read you this. It says, once LaCour had emerged, splitting from Acer's consciousness to shield him from his sire. The king had flaunted why he hadn't tortured Vesseren in the same fashion, the torment that had reduced LaCour to a wrath. Good morning. So I wanted to do a little update of reading The Chains of Fate. The Chains of Fate. So I am about like 18 to 19% of the way through. Not much has happened, but I've come to the conclusion that I think LaCour I think he was a wrath before, and the king merged Acer and LaCour together. Like, I think I don't know, somehow he merged them together. I think they were two separate people before, and then the king, like, put them together. Like, I don't know, whatever science experiment that he was doing. Here is an update on The Chains of Fate. So I read a lot last night. I am 44% of the way through the book, and I'm on page 201. Vesseren is now helping Jason get clean off of the Stardust and basically helped him detox. Look at all the stuff I wrote. Vesseren is also teaching Jason how to fight in combat, because Jason only focused on mending and being in the infirmary, and Vesseren's like, no, you're gonna learn how to fight. Jason is teaching Vesseren how to mend. Cal and Acer, we got a flashback of a century ago, and Acer and Cal had a thing going on. They had a crush. And the Heart of Stars could be the key to finding dragons. The king is definitely hiding something about the Heart of Stars, because when we got a flashback of Acer, him and his brother were in the library with his mom and with Jason's mentor, and they were reading books and doing some research about dragons, and the king flipped out, destroyed the entire library, just because they asked a question about the dragons. She asked him about what his engagement means to him, and he says that he is dealing with it, so I don't know what that means, because he is engaged to her half-sister Ayla. Also asked him what the bond means to him, and he says he doesn't want his duty/engagement to ruin the magic between them. And then he says, I don't deserve another bond, because he had a bond with his brother. But if the stars gave me a second chance, I'm not denying this power. Jason and Vesseren were trying to help Jason's mentor with his coercion. They ended up breaking some of it, not all of it, but some of it. So Jason's mentor is actually the reason the wrath came about. We saw Jason wielding lightning for the first time, and he had no idea what to do with it. We don't know how he got out of that. I haven't had another point of view of Jason. And Serena can also wield wind. Serena and Vesseren did the deed. Woohoo! When she was leaving his apartment, because he had to go back to the mainland because he had business to attend to. And she ran into Ayla, which she was all done up in a gown, and basically said some stuff to Serena, made Serena upset. She ran to her apartment. When she ran into her apartment, she found the Heart of Stars that is in the princess, or that's in the king's possession, and she asked Vesserin if she could see it again to see if it would talk to her again. And she was so upset that she was like, okay, well, I need answers. Like, what is he, does he want to be with me? Does he not want to be with me? Like, do I actually mean something to him, or do I not mean something to him? She ended up portaling for the first time. She portaled to a bond. And when she came out of the other side of that portal, she was face to face with Liqueur. Yeah, and then he proceeds to steal her portaling powers. But Acer, in Liqueur's mind, is like, you're giving her portaling powers back. Like, you can't just keep it forever. So they put gold on her so she couldn't use her essence. So she used the wind and basically blew out the window. And when she blew out the window, all of the shards of glass came towards them. And Fen jumped on top of her, and he's full wrath. He jumped on top of her and basically saved her from getting pelted with a bunch of glass. So that was kind of cute. I want to throw up. So I'm 58% of the way through the book right now, and right now Serena is with the Wrath, and she is learning about their underworld city. She has learned more about the Wrath and what they are. And Vesserin and Jason are trying to find her, but they captured some Wrath that were mindless, that were just like walking around, whatever. And they captured them, and Jason went into their minds and see if they were coerced, which they were. And come to find out, one of them was Serena's friend, Valenia. She was hurt when the Wrath came to the academy, and so she was taken to the capital to get mended, but now she's a Wrath. So what I've gathered is the Wrath are elves that have lost their magic, that their essence has been stolen from them. 65% of the way through the book, and right now Fen and Serena are really having a cute moment. She's asking about his family, and his mom died when the Wrath attacked the floating island, or the academy. And he says, "You're not the only one living with guilt." I am 77% of the way through. I'm on page 358. And currently, Jason and Vesserin are working out, doing a bunch of fitness stuff and things like that, doing combat stuff, and it's the lunar solace, which means that Vesserin should not be with Jason right now, that he should be at the capital. And Jason was like, shouldn't you be at the capital? Like, why are you here with me, like, sitting by a body of water eating food? Because I just finished. And he was like, surely, like, the king is not going to tolerate you not being there. And he says, do you think I care? What do you think he'll do? Coerce me to his will? Turn me into a Wrath? I don't know what to do about the capital yet, but I'm not going back. And then he says, if he's responsible for the deaths of my mother and brother. Fen and Serena are having a cute moment. He's like taking her out to go look at the moons and whatnot. And she goes, it's a chilly night. Fen shrugged. I'm open to warming up there afterwards. And he's talking about the lagoons. So basically the Wrath have the lagoons, which are basically like hot tubs. They do stuff with each other down there. And he keeps asking Serena to come, and she's like, no, like, I'm not going to the lagoons with you. And she said, I wouldn't want to intrude. And he goes, hard to intrude when I'm inviting you. Oh god, she's not gonna do it. She's gonna be around a bunch of wrath. Why would you do that? Like, that, oh no. Fen just said, perhaps I have an interest in spending time with a particular she-elf. Fen is taking Serena out to this place that is a frozen waterfall to watch lunar solstice. So she's now opening up to Fen about all of the stuff like with the prince and how she grew up in the mortal realm and she was a princess in the mortal realm, all of that stuff. But leaving out that she's bonded with the prince because she's afraid of letting them know that. Fen is getting upset because of Vesserin and Serena doing the deed and then her running into his fiance, if you want to call her that. And he says, if I were your elven prince, Fen continued softly, talking up to the moons, I wouldn't shy away from claiming the she-elf prize and putting the universe burning with stars and fire. No, the king has now stripped Centera, which is the academy, from the prince's command. That means he can't come back. Okay, Serena and Fen have just found another Heart of Stars. So I'm reading that now. Oh no. They're fine. He warped them out of there. What is up? So I finally finished Chains of Fate. I don't know when the last time is that I updated you guys. Fen and Serena ended up escaping with the Heart of Stars, and they did the deed. So they did do the deed. Then Fen gave Serena the key to her bangle so she wasn't tethered anymore, so she could be free. He was basically like, you deserve to be free. And then they got ambushed by the Reavers, which the Reavers are the Wrath that are basically rebelling against Liqueur and his authority. So they shot arrows, and Fen jumped in front of Serena and took all of it. And so Serena takes off her band, or her bangle, and alerts Liqueur through their bond. And Liqueur comes up and he's like, he looks at Fen and he's like, you save him, you mend him, even though she was already depleted of magic trying to fight the Reavers. Liqueur ended up fighting the Reavers. Serena was trying all she could to mend Fen. Vesserin felt Serena because she was finally untethered, so he portaled to her finally, and he saw her
leaning over Fen and Fen basically dying. To keep Fen alive, Serena and Fen accidentally make or create a bond. So now they are bonded, I think, because they have accepted the bond. And then Serena pleaded with Vesserin to leave because if Liqueur saw him, the coercion would just take over and he would be trying to kill Vesserin. And she's like, you need to get out of here, like, right now. And then Liqueur saw Vesserin and started throwing rendering at him, and the book ended.
I hope you guys enjoyed my reading vlog. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.